Hello, bore da, prawn da, whatever time it is with you. Here we are, the great Welsh pizza off with Mr Wyn. As you know, one of his many talents is his cooking skills. And as in year 4 this week, we've been looking at fractions. What best than to finish off the week with cooking our own pizza and then sharing that pizza into half, into quarters, or maybe even into eighths, or if you're greedy like me, just eat the whole one yourself. Quite simple to do. All you need for this recipe is some flour. I've got some plain flour here, but you could use some strong bread flour if you have it, and 340 milliliters of room temperature water. Not too cold, not too hot. First thing, you got to measure 500 grams of the flour. Oops. So 500 grams of flour. See, it's up to 100, 200. So this will make 2 big pizza bases, 500 grams, okay? So this is what you're going to do, 500 grams. Okay, then you just dip it into the bowl. When you sieve it, just dip it in, give it a shake, and what I like to do, I add just a tiny bit of salt in it. Very posh, yes, I know. If you have some yeast, you can put some yeast into it, but I haven't got yeast, so I'm not going to use that. Just some flour and water and some salt. Then got the flour in the bowl. Make sure your hands are clean. Obviously, I've done that before starting. Make a little well in the middle of the flour, and then just pour some of the water into the middle of the well. Not all of it yet, just some of it. And then this is the exciting bit. Get your hands right in there, and you mix the flour with the water, okay? And you're actually going to do this for about 10 minutes, okay? So quite a long time. Got to make sure the flour and water come together nicely. So feel free to add more water whenever you want, and just keep mixing for a good 10 minutes. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay. Hope that is done. As you can see, your hands should be nice and clean. No? Anyway, now you should spread some flour on your worktop so it doesn't stick to the table. Get your dough, which hopefully is not too sticky now. It doesn't stick to your hand. You can put it back and forth, okay? Then place the dough on the worktop, and now for another good 5-10 minutes, we can call it, what's it, a technique called stretching and folding. So you're going to stretch the dough and fold it, stretch it all the way around, and you do this for a good 5-10 minutes. And if you want to put more flour on your worktop, just keep adding flour so it doesn't stick to the worktop. So keep folding and stretching your dough for a good 5-10 minutes. See you soon. Oh, that was tough. Good 10 minutes there of folding and stretching the dough. You know it's ready when you push down on it and it springs back towards you, okay? So that you can press the dough. If it springs back to its original shape, then you know it's ready. Right, so that's your dough ready then. Okay, make it into a little ball. Small, well, probably say a tennis ball. You might have bigger or smaller ones, depends how much flour and water you've used, okay? Nice little ball. Get a bowl, glass bowl, a jar, even, you know, a breakfast bowl will be fine. Bit of oil, just a tiny bit of oil. Small amount of oil. Rub it around the bowl where the dough is going to sit. Nice and wet around the bowl. And then just place your dough in the bowl. Cling film or foil, something to cover the bowl up, and then leave it for an hour. Try and get it to probably maybe double in size or to rise a bit. So hour to be left alone, and see you in an hour. An hour's gone past, maybe an hour and 10 minutes. During that time, I prepared my toppings ready. So I've grated some cheese ready, which is essential for a pizza, and I've cut some red peppers. Obviously, you can put whatever you want on the pizzas, whatever you have at home, just try anything you want on those pizzas. I've also got some tomato puree for the base of it as well. Okay, as you can see, my pizza has sort of enlarged a bit, so I'm going to get it out of the bowl, and it's quite a big piece of dough. I'm going to cut a bit off, maybe ask you to put it with a knife. I'm going to cut it maybe in half, or just less than a half, like that, and put the rest back there. It's up to you how big you want to make the pizza. Okay, now more flour on the worktop here. Put your piece of dough on the worktop, and I'm going to use just a bottle of lemonade, which I have in the house. I have no rolling pin, so this will do me. And I'm just going to roll the dough out into a nice circle. Okay, it's up to you how thin or thick you want it. I quite like a thin pizza, but feel free to do what you want. Okay, I've rolled that one out like that. Next, some tomato puree on top, as much as you want. Then back with a spoon or a knife to spread it across the top of the dough. Maybe I'll add a bit more of that. Okay, spread it across the top, and then I'm going to put some cheese on first. Okay, bit of cheese sprinkled on top. Then I'm going to put some of my red peppers on top as well, along with some pepper, some garlic granules, some basil, and also some mixed herb. Again, it's up to you what you want to put on the pizzas. That's it. Pizza's ready to go in the oven. So you can preheat the oven to about 180, 200 degrees, ready for the pizza to go in. Leave it to warm up for a good 5 minutes, and then I'll get some baking paper, okay, and I will place the pizza on the baking paper, as easy to handle, get in and out of the oven, okay, and that's it. The pizza is done. Now it's time to cook it. Last step is obviously to cook the pizza. So put it on the baking paper on a tray in the oven, close the door, and wait around 8 minutes for it to be cooked. But keep an eye out for it in case it burns. See you in 8 minutes. And there it is. Nice and easy recipe, and create your own delicious pizza. Right, it's up to you how you're going to cut it up. I've got my pizza slicer here ready, but I think I'm just going to eat mine to myself like that. So send some photos of your finished pizzas on the Plas Creek Twitter page. Thank you, and goodbye from MasterChef Mr Wyn.